And we're back once again only on its last call. Last call to the alcohol only on LASTCALL and join me on the line or on location this man here. Well, a lot of big things going on here. He's an actor, director, singer. He also does his own stunts. And now with two movies come out this Christmas, both on the Great American Channel, he is, well, a busy man. He has almost 5 jobs. We're going to talk about all 5 of them here. I give you the star of I'm Glad It's Christmas, and also now King of Christmas. I give you Paul Greene. So Paul, let's start off here with, you're juggling all this year, and you're also married, and you're also a father here. How do you find the energy to do all this? I mean, because it's literally as well, as great as these Hallmark shows are. I know from talking with past people, you go on set, and you hit the ground running. You're doing, it's we're working, but you're flying back home. Another movie later on, then you got to take care of the baby, you got to take care of the wife. I mean, how the hell do you find all the energy for this?
Energy, well, eating well, I guess. Making sure I get as much sleep as I can, which is easier said than done when you got a little one. I prioritize like my personal stuff. So my meditation, breath work, I make sure that I take a little time in the morning for myself so I can sort of at least have a foundation to start with. So I'm not just constantly hectically putting out fires or trying to solve problems. Right. So that's the priority. The priority is the mindfulness. I need to have, even if it's only 15 minutes, I have a breath work and a meditation and a yoga thing that takes about a half hour that I do every day. And that's an important piece. Otherwise I'm not living my life. I'm living someone else's, because there's so many demands. And then all day I'm responding to people. Whereas if I take that time, then I feel like I'm a bit of an architect or designing my day a bit. And that's really, after making my bed, that's probably one of the most important things. But at this point, it's learning when to say no. Like it's hard, but I have to start, I've had to, in this last couple of years, start saying no to things that are, even 2 years ago, I would have said yes to. So that's a big thing, is knowing knowing when to say no, or knowing when to kind of leave something in order to create something else. It's just a part of getting older. I think you get a little bit more, you get a little smarter as you get older.
How nice is it having the relationships? And because I talk to, when I talk with a lot of actors who come on the show, we're blessed to have people like Alex Malari, from even guys, like Owen Foster, to even, actresses who've worked on, like Layla Falcone. They always say, the best thing is when you have that relation with a director or a casting person. Next thing you know, you're on their speed dial. For you, it's Great American Channel, it's Hallmark. You do a lot of work with them, whether it's as an actor, sometimes even a producer, director. Like, how nice is that having them on? You're on their speed dial, so when they have a project, they're going, "Hey, Paul, we have you in mind. Are you free?" And you're going, "Yes," and that means you're getting that constant, steady flow of work.
Yeah, I mean, it's so the movie that's coming out on, not on Great American Channel, it's on CBS. So the one that aired before, there's one movie this year on Great American Family, which is on now it's on Hulu. So then one that's coming out, Fit for Christmas, December 4th, is actually CBS. And I have a relationship with CBS from CSI and NCIS before. And so CBS is Paramount Plus as well. So I've been in the Hallmark universe for a decade or so. And these two movies are my first holiday movies, other than a feature holiday movie I did, that is not on Hallmark Channel. But to answer your question about relationships, I mean, just like, yeah, it's just when I've been in the business for quite a while. So when they say it's who you know, it's just, I think doing consistent work and hard work, and I'm very easy to work with and very collaborative. So I think that I have a reputation of being somebody that's going to show up on time and offer a lot and bring a lot. And I'm very engaged with my fan base. on whether it's Instagram or TikTok or whatever, Facebook, and I do a lot of interacting with my fans, so and promoting of the movies. So it is nice. It's you know, 16 years old was my first acting class in Edmonton, Alberta. So it's I'm 48, so these relationships take time, and you know, this is a very busy season, but as an actor, you know, it's a few months can go by, and if the phone doesn't ring, you're starting to go, wait a minute, like what's going on? Like it's not for the faint of heart. Being an actor, you just never know when your next project is, and which is why I started to produce and direct and collaborate with writers. And I wrote my first short, which is called Love Her Madly, which we shot in Paris, and it's a loosely based inside of a Van Morrison or a Morrissey, Jim Morrison story, and from the song The Doors' Love Her Madly. And I wrote and directed that one and produced it, and that one's I think picked up 9 or 10 awards. And then the one Dialogue with Pandora, one of my friend's daughters wrote it, and I directed it for her and starred in it. And that one, I think it's 15 awards or something. It's still, neither of them are available because they're still on the circuit, or on the short film circuit, the award circuit. So the future is, you know, creating content and producing, and there's and directing and making my own stuff, telling my own stories eventually. And those relationships that you mentioned, that's when they come in handy too, is I'll be like, hey guys, I want to make something this story. And that's where those relationships come in over time, I think.
I was gonna say, the dialogue with Dora, like how nice does it feel for you getting to do stuff with, you know, as you said, your friend's daughter, with family, with friends, you know, where it's everybody can be on set and everybody can do something and everybody can be there, because we've seen it with some roles on when you're doing a sci-fi, you're probably going, yeah, it's a little bit too adult content, you know, when I'm on bit, like I might not be able to have you know, little kids or young kids on set with stuff like this. How nice is it when you're talking about it, it's almost like a family, you know, event where, as you said, it's you're working with your friend's daughter, you're working with your friends, you know, I'm guessing family members, like everybody's involved almost in terms of being on set, watching this, seeing you work, and you don't have to go, well, you can't be on set for this scene or that scene or this. It's how nice is it when like everybody can sort of see you work, and you don't have to worry about, you know, just something where, ooh, this is 2 years too old for these kind of people.
Yeah, I mean, the Love Her Madly is a short film I did with my wife. She was my main star, and my wife's, you know, trained in conservatory in Sydney. She's a really amazing actor. And yeah, I do a lot of family friendly films. And my son, my older son, who's 19, I have an 11-month-old, and my older son, Oliver, who's 19, did come on set to the pilot that I helped produce before I went and shot Fit for Christmas in Vancouver. And that one is a little bit more PG-13. So I don't just do family friendly things, but like the comedy in Topanga is a little bit questionable at parts. Like some of the comedy that makes me laugh is like Schitt's Creek or Letterkenny. So neither of those are all that congruent, I think, with like with like my mom I wouldn't have my mom watch either Schitt's Creek or Letterkenny, but my mom's loves watching my Christmas movies, that's for sure.
How tough is it doing what you do in terms of, we don't, you know, everybody knows about accents, you know, you get constant no's, and then you get the one yes. I want to touch base on you as director. How tough is that for you when you're doing these projects and you have to find the right people, you have to, you know, network to get them on set, you know, you're trying to, you know, get everything together. I mean, how stressful is it sometimes as a director, like you're cooking as they say, you're buying the groceries, you're shopping for the groceries, you're cooking the meal, you're laying out the spread. Midterms here, you're making sure the script is, you know, ready. You're getting all the actors together. Everybody's, you know, organized. Everything. Like, how stressful is that? What is it about for you directing where you went, I want to do this and I love doing it, even though there's probably tons of stress and I'm probably getting gray hairs here. I love being a director.
Yeah, I'm not sure that directing is for me yet because I have a new child, and when my 19-year-old was leaving the house, I'm like, all right, I might direct. Now we have a new one, and it requires being away too much directing. And acting is my passion. Directing is something that I think I'll do for small projects and do shorts, uh and also probably maybe hopefully do one of these rom-coms soon, but it's not, I would want to act in it too. Like, directing is hard, man. They're the first ones, they're the last ones to go home. They're usually not paid as well as the actors. There's everything they're responsible for is on the screen. And for my family life, I'm not certain that I could have the quality of relationship with my new son and my wife and be a good director unless it was one project a year. So I don't think I'm ready to do more than one film a year as a director. But doing the short films, I loved it. Like, and I'm always producing. So I have a YouTube channel that in the year 99, I think I put up my first comedy short. I did a thing called Male Modeling Tips, and I have a very early YouTube. I was making videos on YouTube, and so if you just search Male Modeling Tips Paul Greene, you'll see the first 10 or so short films I did, and they're comedies. I directed them, acted in them, wrote them, produced them, and they're ridiculous. But I love them, and I'm always creating little things for TikTok or for Instagram Reels. So nowadays, the way that social media is, or Facebook, I'm always directing. Like, I'm writing, producing, directing these little. Sometimes it's 30 seconds, sometimes it's a minute, trying to either make people laugh or hopefully touch them emotionally in some way and inspire them in some way. And then so because of social media, I'm able to direct without having to be away from my kid. And I think it's just training for when we'll do features and we'll do TV movies like some of these rom-coms or bigger, that I'll be ready to tell the story, and just understanding what it takes to make a good story. Like, so with a short TikTok video, you got to hook them right away, give a little information, with another hook in there, tell a great story, and then bring it home. And it's sort of like, okay, that's kind of what you got to do in a feature too, but in a bigger way. And so I do love directing, but I'm no fool. Like, I know how hard it is to direct, and I know what a sweet job it is to be the main actor in these things. There's a lot of pressure on us as actors, but nothing like a director.
I'm glad you brought up social media because we all talked off air your love music, and you self-taught yourself guitar, and then you also played the recorder, trombone in elementary. Every instrument you love, the singing, the music itself. How big is that for having social media for whether it's TikTok, YouTube, even Twitter and Instagram at times, even Facebook, you can, record your own stuff. You can, instead of having now to go to a studio, get a labeler, to drop stuff, you can just make your own music. You can put it on your social media. You can even include clips of your upcoming shows or movies, and it gets it out. People see it, people love it. Like, how big is it having social media to help you with not just your first love of acting, but also your other love, which is music?
Yeah, I think social media is like the greatest gift ever, because it's sort of, people get their news there. Like, nobody watches CNN, or Fox or MSNBC or CBC. Like, people will go to like someone like Joe Rogan to get their news, or someone like maybe a YouTuber that's gonna sort of say, this is what happened in the news today, rather than all the garbage on main networks that they're just paid for by pharmaceutical companies to sell us fear. And so I think, like, fear porn, I think that in social media has brought the power of the media into everybody. And so it's taken it away from some of the special interest groups and pharmaceutical companies and big corporations, and allowed people to actually curate their own news now, which can be a problem because then you're in a bubble and you only get one, your algorithm's going to send you one perspective. And so you might think the world operates in one way, but that's just your news feed or your social media algorithm. So you have to have a diverse input of different media. But I love social media. I love that I can create a movie in a couple minutes and add really cool music, really cool visual effects and sound, and then publish it and have 1 million people see it. Like, it's crazy. I have a video of that I did with some music that has 3.5 million views. That's just on my Instagram, which is, and then on my TikTok, there's one that has 1.5 million of me teaching people how to swaddle a newborn baby. Like, I think that the power of social media is wild. And then music, I mean, there's millions of people that have seen me sing and play because of social media, with my Facebook concerts, and people share them, and my YouTube concerts, and people share them, and Instagram and TikTok and Twitter. I think it's awesome if it's not abused, if you're willing. And unfortunately, people bully with social media or use it as a bit of a outrage pulpit, which I find quite destructive. But if you're using it in the right way, I think it can be a pretty powerful tool.
Last question for you go, because I know we're pressed for time here. We mentioned on top of the show, you have many jobs. You are a actor, director. You are a musician. You also are a father. You also are a husband, and it's the toughest job right now in Hollywood to be a full-time father, full-time husband, full-time actor, because these are 3 jobs that require you to be on your game 24/7. With the movies, even though you're a publicist, you're still working on, going to auditions, going to shoots, you're uploading stuff to your YouTube, to your Twitter, to your Instagram. You're trying to find time to do all that stuff so you can, get your name out there, so that maybe that director you haven't met yet sees you and gets you on a job. Same time, as I said, you have this newborn son in your life who he just wants to be held, fed, burped, and sleep. Well, he's going to do it on his own time there. And your wife wants to have her time with you.
Yeah.
How do you do that? How tough is that, juggling all 3 so that everybody's happy and at the same time one's not suffering because of the other 2?
Well, I think it takes, like I said before, having my morning practice of prioritizing quality time with sort of for myself, and making sure I'm taking care of my physical body and also my spiritual body, like those things. If I'm only just trying to be everything for my son or my wife or my movies, then I forget about me, then it's going to create like stress and anxiety. But it takes time blocking, and I hire a lot of people. I have several people that work for me. Like, I have a full-time assistant, and then a full-time web person, and I have 4 coaches. Sorry, my cats are jumping in my cupboard and knocking things over. I have 4 coaches in different areas, whether it's guitar, voice, acting coaches, financial coaches, marketing coaches. Like, I employ 6 people. And so I don't do it on my own. I try to stay in my lane, and have the vision and have people help execute on the vision, because I'm not so necessarily, it's not my strong suit to like create a spreadsheet or something, right? So I guess it's time blocking. I time block a certain amount of time for this, and if I can focus just on, say, focusing on my podcast for an hour a day, then my podcast will do really well, or even 15 minutes a day. So it's like learning, how do I prioritize? And I'm, my wife and I have coaching business where we take people through a transformational process. And I'm studying for my functional medicine degree, and I need to budget time to it's a year-long program to get my from my functional medicine integrative nutrition license. And it's very, it takes a lot of time. And so I need, if I can spend 15 minutes a day on one thing. So if I practice my guitar for 15 minutes a day, if I practice my voice for 15 minutes a day, if I do yoga for 15 minutes a day, if I meditate for 15 minutes a day, if I write in a book that I'm creating 15 minutes a day, every day it's moving it forward, right? And it's the 1% rule, and it's just being disciplined enough to stick to a schedule, and constantly moving the things forward that are important. It can sometimes get a bit distracting because I'm moving so many things that everything doesn't move very far, where the ideal would be like pick one thing and just put all your attention. There's a book called Essentialism that literally says find one thing and do it with all your might. And I have a hard time doing that. I'm doing 27 things, but I'm moving them all forward a little bit at a time. So I think in an ideal world, if I could, I would grab one thing and move it forward. But I'm in love with it all too much to choose one thing. Because if I just focused on my music and pushed that forward, I'd be neglecting the transformational program, the coaching stuff, and my acting and my physical body and my father, like being like, so it's just like, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how people just pick one thing and just go for it. But I feel like that's one way to do it, but it seems to be working as long as I delegate properly and go slow enough that I enjoy the process. I feel like I can move these things forward and enjoy them. And if I'm not having fun, that's usually my big red flag. Like if it's no longer fun, I stop and I'm like, okay, then I could die any day. Why am I doing something that I've made stressful or not fun? So that's usually my speedometer or my barometer of what I'm doing, is if it becomes no longer fun, then I'm doing it wrong. And so that's kind of my putting my foot on the pedal, is like, if it's not fun, I have to kind of take it off and reassess my priorities a bit.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we're proud to have on the show. He is considered by many the king of Christmas. I give you actor, musician, father, husband. I give you it's once again Paul Greene. Now, Paul, before I let you go, where can fans check you out at? Where is the Twitter page, Instagram, the website? Where can fans hit you up at if they want to know more about, of course, your upcoming movie? Once again, Sunday, December 4th on CBS Paramount Plus, Fit for Christmas.
That's right. My website's paulgreene.com, just with the E. Paul Greene has an E on the end. All my socials is Paul Greene Official, except for Twitter is Paul Greene Media. But there's a Christmas convention coming up in Jersey shortly here on the 9th, 10th, and 11th in New Jersey, where people can come and meet all their favorite romantic comedy and Christmas, and all their stars are there. And I'm doing a concert on the night of the 9th. That's in Jersey coming up. I think there's one day that's not sold out. And then Andrew Walker, who's another actor that does a lot of these movies, and we're hosting a cruise together in January, I think 10, 11, 12. And I'm going to be playing music, and we're doing a bit of a wellness retreat and taking 150 fans on a 4-day cruise. And so that's all on my website, paulgreene.com. And they can also check out freedom-alchemist.com, which is the program I do with my wife. And we have hundreds of testimonials there of some of the coolest things you'll ever read, like really important things, like people releasing 100 pounds or forgiving their father and stuff. Like I'm so proud of the testimonials of our team, of the students. We've worked with over 1,000, mostly women, mostly older women, to help them sort of get their lives back a bit. And especially in this maybe last chapter, or this chapter of their life that normally is a decline, we're trying to make it an incline, in like the best time of their life, not like this painful worst time. So that's something I'm so excited about. And that's all at freedom-alchemist.com. But you can get there through paulgreene.com as well.
Paul Greene, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we are honored to have him on the show. You can check him out once again. It's if you missed, it's probably on demand right now. If you have Great American families, I'm glad it's Christmas. And check out once again December 4th on CBS and Paramount Plus. Fit for Christmas. We come back. A lot more going on here. Only on It's Last Call. Last Call at the Alcohol. Only on the Last Call YouTube channel and lastcallpodcast.com.